What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Mardelas. Yes, indeed, Mardelas Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from SMB, and this is actually one of SMB's 3 prioritized requests for the month of January for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, SMB. Hope you enjoy the show. SMB wanted to see me react to this. It is Mardelas with a tune entitled Last Round Survivor. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Mardelas, all right? And the video has 23,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Mardelas, Last Round Survivor, live 2024, dead or alive. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I think we have a guitar solo. Let me back up. Okay. The main riff, the riff in E. E. You're playing in octaves. Root octave to the 2, the flat 2, above the on the octave above. Back down to the 7, back to the root to the octave, root octave. That is a very Judas Priest-ish riff. You go back and look through the catalog of Judas Priest albums, and you're going to hear that riff in a lot of their songs. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I appreciate that. I absolutely do. I just think it's kind of funny how riffs from other bands can transcend and affect bands in current times. I think that's, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of admirable. That they still have an influence on bands to this day. So that's kind of cool. Done well. Definitely done well. The chorus flows very well. 6 to the 5 to the octave. Do, do, do. And then down to the 7 to the 6 to the 5 again. Wash, rinse, and repeat. It's easy to follow. It's catchy. Sure, it flows well. Pleasing to the ear. I'm not going to sit here and, blow things out of proportion and go, oh, it's the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. No, no, it's not. I've heard far more impressive riffs than that. But it still sounds good. And it fits with the main riff to boot. They're both very complimentary of each other. They set each other up well. The main riff during the verse sets up the chorus and vice versa. So no issues there. Instrumentally, everybody sounds good. Guitar sounds nice. I can actually hear the bass in the mix. Drumming sounds good. Vocals sound good. I like what I'm hearing from the vocalist, but her stage presence is she's not like when the chorus kicks in, I'm not saying it's anthemic. I'm not saying the song is anthemic in any way, because I'm not feeling the anthemic feels, but it's probably the catchiest part of the song. It's the most impactful part of the song. And when the chorus is going on, she literally just stands there and sings. She's not engaging with the crowd. She's not moving around the stage. She's not acting or moving her body in any way, shape, or form with any kind of intensity. Everything that she does, well, first of all, she's not moving her feet at all. She's just standing there. And the movement that she is doing with her arms is very casually done. Almost like an afterthought. It doesn't add up to what's being played and what's being sang. It's very powerful, very impactful. And she's just going to stand there and just kind of sway her arms around a little bit. It does not add up. What we're seeing does not add up with what we're hearing. It's just very confusing, if you ask me. I'm not thrilled at all with what I'm seeing. It's not a good look. Anyway, let's get to the guitar solo. Let's see what happens here. Solo. that main riff got Judas Priest written all over it. I like it. It's a nice riff. Into the next song. Okay. Yeah. I liked most of it. I liked most of it. I enjoyed most of it. From an audio standpoint, I enjoyed everything I heard. What I saw, not so much. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Mardelas with a tune called Last Round Survivor. This was a request from SMB. And this was actually one of SMB's 3 prioritized requests for the month of January for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, SMB. Hope you enjoyed the show. Okay. I have a score. And the score is going to require some explanation because there are definitely some outlining factors that influenced my score choice. And but I have a feeling if I explain everything, if I explain how I got to this score, I think it'll make a lot more sense. So let's get to it, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that overall presentation a 7.5. Yep, 7.5. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.5. What does that mean? Well, a 7.5 would translate to a really good skill rating because overall, I think this was a really good presentation. It would also get 4 out of 5 stars and a B as in boy, B plus letter grade. Yeah, a B plus. So there you go, a 7.5, really good skill rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and a B as in boy, B plus letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Ha ha ha! So glad you asked. Okay, let's start with what we heard. Let's start with the song itself, the songwriting, the composition, the arrangement, and the musicianship. I liked everything I heard, okay? There was not a single thing that I did not enjoy when it came to the audio presentation, at least on some level. Some things were pretty good, some things were really good, okay? The composition, let's be honest here. Pretty simple riff, right? But effective. Definitely effective. I mean, the first couple times through the main riff, the first thing that hit me in the head was, this sounds like a Judas Priest style riff. And listen, I dig that. I absolutely dig that. Look back through their discography and you will find a lot of songs that follow that same style of riff with the octave jump, utilizing the flat 2 above the octave, the 7 above the, not above the octave, on the octave. So from the root to the octave, flat 2, 7, octave again before going back down to the root again. A lot of play in there. I like that. I absolutely do. I think it is a very strong riff. Impressive? No, absolutely not. It's a very simple riff. But like I've always said on the channel, simple can be effective when it's done right. And this absolutely was done right. The chorus. Now on the flip side, the chorus didn't sound anything like a Judas Priest song. That's where the J-Rock feel definitely comes into play. That is, I mean, the minute they started playing that chorus, I'm like, okay, here we go. This is definitely their style right here. You know, the 6 down to the 5 up to the root, down to the 7, back to the 6 to the 5 to the root again, and then just wash, rinse, and repeat. It's good. I mean, it's not something I would say is impressive necessarily, but it is very effective. And it's a nice I think this is probably what impressed me most about the entire song. Two very different styles of riffs that somehow they were able to figure out a way to bring them together in a way that they didn't just fit, they complemented each other. That was nice. I didn't see that coming, and it didn't hit me until we got to the second time through the chorus. I was like, you know what? The main riff and the chorus, they actually, I mean, they work, they absolutely work, and it sounds good together, but they actually complement each other. How is that working? Because the styles are very different, but it does complement. I mean, they do. That the main riff complements the chorus, and the chorus complements the main riff. So, well done. Absolutely well done on that part. As far as musicianship goes, bass, guitar, both sounded really nice. I dug the guitar solo. I think the guitar solo was very fitting for the song, stylistically. Drumming, solid work across the board. I didn't really hear anything that, wowed me or blew me away or impressed me, but it was solid drumming across the board. So the drummer didn't do anything that stuck out like a sore thumb or came up with some crazy riff that, just clearly didn't belong. No, everything was conducive to the song, so no issues there. Vocal delivery, I liked it. I liked what she sang and how she sang it. Not overly reliant on vibrato and not overusing vibrato or taking the vibrato just way too far, like I've heard other vocalists do. No, she was definitely delivering well with her support, her projection, and her power, along with singing on pitch. So, got no issues there whatsoever. Now, I will admit fully that there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of track usage. There was a lot of doubling and redoubling of guitars. I heard at least 3 guitar parts at any given time during the song. Actually, there were a couple times where I heard 4, and there's only 1 guitar player, The keyboard parts, there was no keyboardist on stage, but yet the keyboard parts, the synth parts, were prominent through the entire song. The backing vocals, I know, the guitar player had that headset mic, and the bass player was often on the microphone on stage right as well. But I also caught several times the bass player not on the mic when the backing vocals were going, and they sounded the exact same. So there was a lot of gang vocals in the track usage. I'm not saying the bass player wasn't vocalizing. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it wasn't just the guitarist and the bassist doing the backing vocals. There were several other voices that we heard. And that's clearly due to track usage. Same thing when it came to the lead vocalist harmonies. That was clearly a female vocal on those backing harmonies. And the guitar player's a guy and the bass player's a guy, and they were not singing during the chorus. So, yeah, I'm sorry to say, but there was a ton of backing track usage. Now, here's the thing, because people often ask me about this. Is that bad or is that good when a band utilizes backing tracks in a live setting? I have no problem with it. I don't have an issue with bands utilizing backing tracks whatsoever. Hell, I've been in bands where we've used backing tracks as well. So I have no problem with it as long as the band is being honest about it. Don't sit there and pretend like there's no backing track being used. Don't sit there and lip sync while there's, vocals going on in the backing track and then say, oh no, we sang all those parts live.
Liar!
No, you didn't, because there were a number of times where we caught you off the mics, It looks really bad when you are sitting there claiming that you did everything live on stage when you clearly didn't. It's a bad look. As long as you're able to admit that you're doing it and not try to pretend like you're not using backing tracks, I have no problem with it. And I don't think these guys were really trying to pretend like they were doing everything live. No, they made it pretty obvious. Now, if they had somebody up on stage with a keyboard in front of them pretending to play. Now that would be a glaring issue with me. But we didn't have that. So I think they were being honest about it. They weren't trying to hide it. So I have no problem with the vocal usage. Altogether, I would give this song about a 7.2, honestly. I think the song is really good. And I dug it. I enjoyed listening to it. But I'm giving this a 7.5. What happened there? Well, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm gonna say. So say it with me, kids.
Say it out one time.
A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. And in this case, it helped. It did help, but not as much as you might think. As a matter of fact, there's going to be one particular part we're going to talk about that was actually slightly a bit of a hindrance. Let's go on the checklist and you'll see what I'm talking about. Stage presence. Yeah, check. They looked like performers, and for the most part, they acted like performers. So I'll give them the check on that one. Stage energy. This is a weird one. So I'm giving them the check. Here's the thing. The lead vocalist. Okay, so the guitar player was moving a little around in his little 5x5 box. The bass player was moving around in his little 5x5 box. The drummer obviously is a slave to the instrument, so the drummer can't really get up and move around a whole lot. Which really leaves most of the heavy lifting to the lead vocalist. Now, she did move around. Yes, she absolutely did. So I am giving it the check, but I'm giving that stage energy a check with an asterisk. And you're gonna see, I'm gonna talk about it more in detail in just a little bit. But for right now, yeah, stage energy does get the check with an asterisk. Stage interaction, none, zilch, nada, zero. Big fat goose egg on that end. Nobody interacted with each other on stage. Hell, nobody even looked at each other while they were on stage. So there was no attempt made at stage interaction at all. So unfortunately, that does not get the check. Now, crowd interaction. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to give it a check with an asterisk. I promise we're going to talk about it, okay? I promise you. We're going to discuss the asterisk at length. But just for right now, crowd interaction does get a check mark in the box. Moving on, showmanship. Again, it's getting a check with an asterisk. I promise we're going to talk about it. But it's getting the check marks with an asterisk. Production. Yeah. I'm going to say no. I didn't. The only thing that was going on was lighting. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I didn't see anything happening within the lighting that screamed, this is programmed to go along with this particular song. The lighting all seemed just very generic and very random. So I'm not going to give that a check, unfortunately. Now, there were 3 boxes that I gave with asterisks: stage energy, crowd interaction, and showmanship. Here's where the asterisk comes into play. It all comes down to the lead vocalist. Now, and this is why I wasn't 100% thrilled with the live visuals. Was there crowd interaction? Was there showmanship? Was there stage interaction? Yes, there was. Okay, there was at key points. And the key point is this: as long as she did not have the microphone in front of her mouth, then she did everything. She moved around, she interacted with the crowd, she, moved around the stage, she, did her power poses and stuff. She put on a good visual show, as long as the microphone was not here, as long as it was down here. The second that she brought her microphone up to her mouth, before she even started singing, the second she brought her microphone up to her mouth, her feet planted, her body from the waist down did not move at all. And from the waist up, it moved very casually, I guess is the best way to put it. Like her movements in her upper body were a complete and utter afterthought. She literally just stood there and sang the parts. Now, I know this is where the arguments are going to come into play. Well, she's putting more emphasis on her singing. She's putting more attention on her singing. So what you're telling me then, by making those claims and defending her in that way, is she's not capable of moving around the stage and singing at the same time. That's the argument you're making, right? That's what you're saying, because that is exactly what we saw. While she was singing, there was no movement, there was no motion, other than just kind of casual, moving of the upper body in a very afterthought way. But there was while she was singing, no attention to stage presence, no attention to stage energy, no attention to showmanship, and no attention to interacting with the crowd. So, and that's because she's incapable, is what you're telling me. I don't believe that for 1 second. I believe she's capable. I just don't think she did it. And I think she made that a very conscious decision not to do it. I think she's capable. I think she's very capable. I think she's talented enough that she can do that. But for some reason, she chose not to. I don't know what that reason is. Quite frankly, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it didn't happen. So those asterisks, yeah, they kind of kept the score from going up a little bit higher than I wanted them to go. Like I said, the second that her microphone came down away from her mouth, oh yeah, all those things happened. She strutted around like she owned the place. She motioned out to the crowd, pointed out to the crowd, engaged the crowd, clapping her hands toward the crowd, trying to get the crowd to clap with her, hitting all the power poses. Yeah, she did everything that I look for, as long as she wasn't singing. So that just really kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, the score did go up. Yes, it went up from a 7.2 up to a 7.5. If she had done all those things while singing, would the score have gone up higher? Absolutely. Now, how much higher? I don't know. Depends on how well she did it. It could have been 7.7, could have been 7.8. Hell, if she did a really good job with it and really sold the show while she was singing, we might even be up in the 8s. It's very possible. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. What happened is what we saw and what we observed. So, much as I would love to raise that score a little higher, I don't feel justified doing so. So, it still went up from a 7.2 to a 7.5. That's where we're at, and that's where we're going to stay. So, let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.5, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B as in boy, B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.